One of the questions I was going to ask, you kind of read my mind there, was, it's such a different, it seems like such a different market in Europe here. Sometimes I think in the States, people over the past, I'd say maybe even decade, have gotten a little apathetic, if you will, about music. Like, nobody really makes the effort to go out there and search out new bands or new music or even go to shows really anymore. And whenever I see things on TV of stuff coming in from Europe, they're just so into it, and their whole focus is there. And so obviously you've seen that or firsthand or felt that in your experience.
Absolutely. I mean, the very first time I played in Budapest, we got a lot of radio airplay, so that was helpful, of course. But then when you go on stage and you see that they really, the reaction is just so, like you just invented rock, and it's, they've never seen it before in their lives. It was just so appreciative and just really got into it, and they loved it, and they just were jumping up and down like little children. These are adults. And I said, I can live with this.
Yeah, that's great for an artist.
It really is great. And very, very appreciative. And they keep, were coming up and saying, this is great, very complimentary, and basically very appreciative. And they kept coming, we kept going back for more. We got on major television a couple of times, which was really a huge compliment, especially for an artist like myself. I'm independent, and we just came in there, and we just basically, because somebody heard about us, they called the television station, and we're on television. All right. Excellent. Who needs a manager? So it's great. Yeah.
Good. Now, also with the album and the ones before it, there's a lot of, I'll say, eclectic indulgence. There's lots of different sounds, tempos, styles, and instruments as well. And you come from a very musical family background. Yes. So was this an intentional thing?
Yes.
Or?
Yes, and bring it on, bring more of it on too. Yeah, I mean, I get bored very easily. So if I want to hear different sounds and textures, I don't, believe like, okay, let's see, the formula has to be this. I don't know what's going on out there right now. Oh, well, I don't care. I just do whatever I feel. And really, I think a lot of artists are like that. I mean, maybe not all of them as far as, wanting to make money or just, releasing pablum and the same stuff. Whether it's right or wrong or whatever, I just basically write the way I write. I never had any training, and I don't think you need training. It's just basically how you feel. And as far as the sounds go, I just love different sounds and textures. I mean, it's just I don't know. I just really love to hear different things, and so I feel that as long as the song is has some kind of semblance and it's not too crazy out there. Because I don't think I could go too far out there. I think it's appealing. I think it's interesting to listen to. And I get a lot of comments about that as well. I get comments like, well, your record's not boring. It's not the same. Every song is different, or every other song is different, and we don't know what to expect. And it's great. I said, that's what I like. And I also like that as far as live performance goes. I think the record should be very similar to your live performance. That's why I don't like a lot of crazy production. Like Lady Gaga and all that stuff. Although I do like Lady Gaga, but it's accessible, and I think it's enjoyable. And I like when I listen to the record. Usually I'm very critical. Am I talking too much?
No.
All right. I'm pretty critical, but and when I listen, but I also you have to be critical to one point, but then also you have to be loose and free. And I think that's what Spitfire is all about.
Great. And what's the first single from the record?
Well, actually, there's two singles at the same time. Is that possible?
Yeah. Anything's possible. You heard it. She said it. Anything's possible.
No Fool No More and Spitfire, those two.
Okay.
Those two are making a lot of noise. They're making a lot of noise in Europe and also Italy and Brazil. Excellent. Hello. So I'm excited about it. Pretty happy.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Larry before, Swist, who is your husband. He's also very involved in the process of recording. He runs a studio and the sound and all that stuff.
Yes.
So just kind of give me, how does he serve as an inspiration to you? Because I know he does.
Larry is a huge, Larry has been a huge inspiration for me because he pretty much tells me a lot of just to be free and just express your feelings. Again, going back to, when you're raised in a Sicilian household, a lot of times you're just kind of held back from, if you're going to cry, go in your room and cry. So you learn that from an early age. So it's like, oh my God, my feelings don't count. But they do, obviously. And of course, I'm being very dramatic. And but he told me, if you're going to be a performer, you got to make sure that you got to. People want to hear what's in your heart, what's in your soul. What are you about, and that sort of thing. And he's been and it's taken me years to get to the point where I am right now. And so he's been a big inspiration as far as that goes. And he's also he's a very creative guy. I'm not sure if anybody knows a lot of his accomplishments. He's produced a lot of Spyro Gyro records, and now he's designing recording studios throughout the world, and he's very successful. And he's also partnership with Mick Gazowski. Mick Gazowski's from Rochester, New York, and he's an 8-time Grammy Award-winning mixing engineer and producer, and he's also mixed this record. He's worked with everybody, Kiss, Janet Jackson, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton. And so they're good friends. And now they have a business together where they've designed their own speaker monitor system, which is like just taken off in New York. So now they're busy doing that. And it's just, but as far as my record goes, it's his fault I have that tattoo on my eye. But I like that tattoo because I thought it was funky. It's like different. It's okay. Jessie, what kind of an album cover do you want? Look at it.
Focus in on that.
I could get you a better shot.
Interesting. Well, Jessie, I have to say that Buffalo has not forgotten about you, and we've been very, very much awaiting your return to the scene.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm like a little kid. My mother said, she goes, "You haven't stopped running around like crazy since you've been home." And I said, "Well, Ma, I'm so excited because it feels good to leave, but to leave home and see the world. But as I said, when you guys first came in, it's even better to come back home because you want to just share your experience and you just want to get up and do your thing, and I've been doing this Facebook thing and, MySpace and all this stuff. And it's amazing how much feedback I'm getting and how many people are out there that are coming to the show. And I just get all nostalgic and, mushy. And it's like, I just feels good to come back home and just perform and do what I love and see the people I love. And it's great.
Well, she will be back home on January 30th at the Trough. We hope to see you there. Jessie, thank you very much for sitting down with us today, and we'll see you at the show.
All right.
Okay.
Yes,
thanks.
thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Sometimes you gotta spit fire to get what you wanna spit fire.